Welcome to Dominate Your Day, the podcast for corporate leaders, visionaries, and founders who are ready to lead from within. I'm Dana Williams, and after 25 years as a corporate leader myself, I've discovered a powerful truth. The next level of your leadership isn't about more doing, it's about more being. Today, you'll hear from a difference maker who's learned that everything they needed to transform their team and their organization was already within them. They've stopped chasing external validation and started leading from their authentic strengths, their purpose, and their values. This is what I call the internal revolution, and it is exactly what I dive deep into in my upcoming book, Internal Revolution. Lead authentically and build your personal brand from within. So let's get started and dive right in. I'm very excited about this next guest. Her name is Jessica Bartnick, and she's the co-founder of Foundation for Choice, which serves at-risk youth through a one-on-one mentoring program. You're going to love her story because before she even got into developing and coming up with this idea for this foundation, she had never had any experience in it. But she knew she needed to do this. There was something internally in her that said, I need to step out of my corporate job and make a difference. And her story is incredible. She was recognized by CEO magazine as a finalist for a person that is making an impact in the community. She's also been, since she started this organization, she's served on several boards, in school boards in Dallas. You're going to love her. So can't wait for you to hear this message. So Jessica, welcome to Dominate Your Day. You have intrigued me in your story about how you got out of corporate and just started a nonprofit. Can you introduce yourself to our audience and tell them what you are doing and how you got there?
Absolutely. I am so honored to be here today. So thank you so much for having me.
Sure.
So I spent about 10 years in corporate America in a variety of different sales and sales management roles. And I just felt, unfulfilled. And it was one of those kind of situations where I was like, I need to give back. I need to volunteer. I need to do something. And so that's what I did. I started volunteering at a school, not related to any organization or anything, but it was just something I felt compelled to do. And I believe God speaks to us in our sleep. And I woke up one morning and I said, I have an idea to start a nonprofit to help low-income kids because they just don't know what they don't know. None of us do, right? And when I was asking these kids at the school, have you applied for SAT, FAFSA, college, second semester of their senior year? And they all were like, no. But they were so much smarter than I was at that age. They knew what they wanted to do. They knew who they wanted to be. They just didn't know how to achieve it, what to do. And so I woke up and I said, I need to start a nonprofit. And
wow.
And I did. And I filled out the 501c3 paperwork and I was told it would take 6 months to get approved. 2 weeks later, we got the approval. And I said, okay, this is a sign. I'm here to change the world.
So one of the things that we love to talk about here on this podcast is difference makers that want to make an impact. So you were in the corporate world, you were doing fine. What was it inside of you that said there's something more or there's something else? What was it? Had you ever done any work with kids in schools before? Was this just how did you find this?
Yeah, that is a really good question. No one's ever asked me that question. I am not a teacher. I have a business degree, and that's all I've ever done. I owned a business before I started a nonprofit. It was a coffee shop. I had never done anything with kids. I had never done anything with teenagers. I had stepkids at the time, so I think that's maybe what compelled me to do it. But yeah, it was more, I feel like in teenagers, I love that age because they think they're so smart. They think they know it all. They think they have all the answers, but they don't. And so for us, it's we get to really give them the tools and resources to help them see what they really can accomplish, because the world is their oyster at their age. They just don't realize it.
So, how did you go about starting something? You hadn't had any work in the school system. You had this business degree. You'd started a business before. You got this, you had a talk from God in the middle of the night and said, okay, this is what we're going to do. And then how did it go from there, from getting that paperwork to saying you could have your 501c3 to, okay, how do we go make a point, how do we go forward in this mission work that you've been given?
Yeah, fake it till you make it, right? We had no impact. We had nothing to show for this idea. Wrote a curriculum and literally just had something on paper. And we're a mentoring organization. So my idea was, let's have volunteers one-on-one with a student. It's kind of like Field of Dreams. Like, if you build it, they will come. And that's what happened. It's like, okay, are mentors going to actually volunteer for this mission? Are we going to find people? Are the schools going to allow us in? And they all did. And the mentors came, and we have hundreds, maybe thousands, obviously at this point, of mentors that have volunteered with our organization in the last 11 years.
That is amazing.
I know, served thousands of students and helped them get into college, change their life, break the cycle of poverty, and change their life for generations. It's not just for them, it's for their kids and their grandkids forever.
So you just kind of had this idea and thought, okay, I'll create a curriculum. You never created a curriculum before, right? I want to say this story because there's people out there who have a drive, but they are telling themselves they can't do it.
Yeah.
So what do you think helped boost you to do this?
Yeah.
Your talents. I mean, we talk about Clifton Strengths here a lot. Was there something? Did you have a mentor who kind of helped you go, yeah, go for it, just do it? Or was it just in your innate sense that you said, we're just going to do it and we'll figure it out?
Yeah, I think I had a very supportive husband who was just kind of saying, go ahead, quit your 6-figure income career and start a nonprofit, right? Really, I think it boiled down to a situation I had in corporate America where I was in pharmaceuticals, and we had, and I can't say the company or the product because I might get sued, but we were at a sales meeting, and they were talking about how sales of this specific product, it was a weight loss product, were going to increase in X amount of years. And they were like, the obesity rates are going to rise, so we're going to have sales of this product rise. And everyone in the room stood up and was applauding. And I'm not kidding you, I was the only person sitting down. And I was looking around this room and I was like, we are capitalizing on, people's inability to sometimes self-regulate or health issues. And that's a problem. And I would rather make a difference in the world than create a problem. So that's what I did. And what was in me, it was just a need to fix a problem that I saw. It's a problem. Education is a problem. Low income communities don't have, or these kids don't know how to access resources. And it's a problem. And I said, I need to fix this problem. We need to make a difference. I swear I could fix education. Just give me a chance.
Wow. And now you've sat on boards of schools. 11 years later, what did you learn in that process in starting this nonprofit?
Yeah, the hardest thing I learned coming from a business degree and from the business world, the for-profit world, was nonprofit world. It's very, very, very different. And so I would apply for a lot of grants and I would get decline. And I would say, why am I getting declined? I'm sitting here telling you that if you give me $20,000, I can turn that into $120,000. Why wouldn't you want to donate to this organization? And I learned that nonprofits don't look at the ROI in terms of investment. They look at the ROI in terms of impact. And so I said, okay, I have failed a couple times at getting money that way. I need to focus on how many lives we impact, not how I can turn your money into more money, which I still don't understand or really comprehend, but I've learned the game that way, I guess you could say.
Well, yeah, and I kind of hear your sales kind of background coming in there, like, okay, what can I do to help get the, it's your influencing of just what can I do? So how did you turn that around? What stories kind of started happening where you were able to have a narrative for them?
Yeah, I mean, fortunately, after you launch the program, or after I launched the program, and we started actually helping kids, we had impact stories.
Yeah. So when you were talking about impact and stories of impact, and you realize, okay, I need to focus on that now.
Yeah.
How did you shift your narrative for them? Because this is all that kind of internal, external branding from inside of how do I tell this impact of what we're doing?
Yeah, so, a couple of years go by, we actually have impact. We have a couple students that were able to really support, probably we had our first cohort was 25 students. And
Wow.
we learned a lot that first year too, because it's
Mhm.
not just getting them into college, it's helping them while they're in college and get them through college. Because
Wow.
the funding, we had one student who got accepted to college, but he didn't have the money to actually enroll. So we said, oh my gosh, we need to really focus on scholarships and getting them the funding. So then it was, okay, our students are now averaging over $30,000 in college funding each. And now, today, 11 years later, our students are averaging over $60,000 in college funding.
Yay.
It's unbelievable. We just had our first Ivy League student,
Wow.
full ride to Cornell. We've had interviews to Harvard. It's been unbelievable. So we've been able to really take our experiences, learn from them. How do you make it better, and how do you really change their lives so they have all the tools and resources they need every single year? So we follow them through college and help them land a career.
I love that. I am so impressed. And we did some work years ago with I Have a Dream Foundation. Same kind of thing where you work with them and then but then the hard part was it kind of ended after high school. But that's where it's just starting is what I hear you doing is kind of, it ended for us. A lot of people have stayed with their students all the way through. But so tell me one of your impact stories that's one of your favorite stories.
Yeah, so I have so many. This is one that to this day I think is the most impactful one that we've had. We had a student, her name is Lal, and she was a refugee from Burma. And on her way over to America, she's with her whole family, and they stop in kind of a refugee camp. And her father contracts malaria, and there's not a lot of medical resources there, and he passes away.
Oh gosh.
And then her brother, and then another sibling. And when they finally made it to America, it was Lal and her mom. That's it.
Mm.
And she joined our program. She was a Dallas ISD student. English was her second language. She came here, she didn't even know how to speak English. And she had a mentor who is probably one of the most amazing mentors. She's probably mentored with our program for about 10 or 11, since the beginning. I'm going to say 10 years. Her name is Leah. And she helped this girl get a full ride to UT Austin. She won a $12,000 scholarship with Mary Kay for public speaking. English is her second language.
Oh my gosh.
And she's graduated from UT Austin at this point. She is now in medical school at UT Austin.
Wow.
And she wants to work for an organization like Doctors Without Borders so she can go and support families with medical treatment that her family did not receive.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
That gives me just chill bumps, just the whole thing. But I guess you've got a lot of stories like that. I mean, that one is, I mean, you took somebody who probably had all this amazing talent inside and just helped them unearth it and be
Yeah.
that person. But staying with them all the way. So y'all fund from the minute you start working with them in high school. Do you help get funds for their college applications and coaching them all the way through? Is that what I'm hearing, kind of?
We do. Now, there are waivers for a lot of these students, and they don't know to go to their counselor half the time and get them, but these students can apply for 4 colleges for free.
Wow.
They can take the SAT 2 times for free. So we help them know how to navigate the resources that are available to them.
Wow. That's amazing. So you're 11 years in.
Yeah.
What's next for you? What are you seeing in the workplace and school systems? What new gap are you filling with this group of individuals that you have that are working alongside you to make a difference in the world?
Yeah, so we work with a lot of corporations. We have a lot of partnerships with Fortune 10 corporations where we've started youth mentoring programs for them. So, like for example, Toyota is one of our largest partners, and we were with them yesterday, working with Dallas ISD and Toyota, kind of to see how are we going to impact this upcoming school year. And what Toyota has done in the West Dallas community is unbelievable. They have lifted this community up. They've helped build schools, and they've brought us in as kind of a wraparound service for a lot of these. We start in 7th grade with a mentoring program with them and go all the way to and through college and help them land a career. And it's been unbelievable with them. And so I think, what's next, it's time to expand. We had a plan pre-COVID, but then the world shut down. And I feel like last school year was the first school year where everything was finally back to normal. And so it's time to really grow and expand. We have some interest in South Texas. We have some interest in other states as well. So, for us, it's a couple different things that we can do. We can help organizations, for-profit organizations that want to start mentoring programs, that want to impact in education. We can help them do that. We're experts. And then it's also time to really grow this regionally, nationally, and start having more impact, because we have a program that works, and it really changes lives.
Have you seen out there, and I'm sure you have done a lot of research, but other groups that do what you do, and what's the difference of what you're doing with what you're seeing that's out there?
Yeah, so there are other high school mentoring organizations. And so, what we do differently is we don't just mentor in high school. We go all the way to and through college, help them land a career. But the one thing I did strategically was create a portion of our program where we match every single one of our students with a local business similar to what they want to study in college. And they get to have 3 phone calls with this business, and then go for a half a day at the company and go and meet them face to face, and then go and kind of tour all of the departments. They meet the CEO sometimes. They talk to the receptionist, right? Like, they go and they learn why they want a college degree. It takes them out of their community, which many of these students don't get to leave their community. And it shows them, hey, this is different, right? Their families are from manual labor or food service. They don't know this side of the world, right? They don't know what is out there for them if all they can do is just try, because they can achieve, and we're giving them the tools and resources to do that. So that's really what makes us different is we have a multi-layer, program that says, hey, we're just not going to get you into college. We're going to give you resources. We're going to help you find the resources, and we're going to give you networks and connections. So maybe you can get an internship at this company, or keep those connections. Maybe when you graduate college, they're going to hire you and bring you back.
I've heard through your story just the great connections you've made with the high schools here in Dallas, the great connections with the corporate, and then I'm assuming you're doing the same thing with the universities around.
Yeah.
And how's that going?
Yeah. Some of the universities, we have partnerships with them. They even find mentors for us, which we like to say they have to be, at least 21 years of age and either like on the verge of graduating college or already graduated. But we do a lot of career fairs there. We work with a lot of local colleges and have career fairs at the local colleges as well as attend theirs, because it's important to us that we get connected, communicated. My ultimate goal one day would be to have like clubs at universities for all of the students that have gone through our program so they can support each other.
Oh, I love that. So are giving back. And how cool to have the companies like Toyota someday hire these people that they helped support in West Dallas. West Dallas is probably one of the poorest communities in the country. And to see what they've done is amazing. So
Yeah.
that is great. So as now we're going to put on your business hat as a leader running a nonprofit. What have been your lessons there in leading people, leading others, managing a lot on your plate? Have you
Yeah.
built a fairly a good team around you, and how did you know how to do all that?
Yeah, so my strength is not managing people.
That's okay. You know that, and you can say, "I need to find somebody else to do that." You're the visionary. You're the visionary.
Yep,
So
I'm the
that's okay.
visionary. Yep, I
Yeah.
can lead you, I cannot
Hmm.
manage you. And there are two different things. I can
Right.
take you to the promised land, I
Yes.
can give you the tools and resources, but if you're not going to do your job, then you and I are not going to mesh. So, yes, I do
Yeah.
find people to kind of take the roles that I'm not good at, and I know my weaknesses and I know my strengths very well.
Hmm.
And I have an amazing team that is smarter than me in all these different levels and all these different aspects. And I'm so thankful for everything that they do. But yeah, people, it's the hardest part of any organization, right? Having them do the job. And I always kind of compare it to, pre-COVID, post-COVID. Pre-COVID, it was my biggest concern was hitting deadlines. And in education, deadlines are the same every single year. And post COVID, I would say my hardest thing with staff is actually doing the work. And I find that to be really challenging that, people aren't doing the work these days. So I've definitely surrounded myself with an amazing team that can come in where I can't.
So we were talking about running, just being a founder-led organization. And I think there's a mindset, especially for those of you out there thinking, oh, I want to do something like Jessica, or I want to start something, but I'm scared to start it because I don't think I can run it all. You're never supposed to do it all. Jessica, you're the visionary. You should always have that person underneath you that's doing the operations, that's passionate about the operations. And I think especially with women, we get guilty about, oh, I've got to do it all. No, that's the fastest way to burnout, right?
Right.
So, how have you helped manage yourself and guiding your team and growing this organization? Have you had mentors, organizations? What has been your source of for growth and as you've been growing this?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, a lot of learning the hard way for sure. But, I make sure I surround myself with people that are smarter than me and that can do the tasks that I'm just not good at.
Mm,
I know my strengths, I know my weaknesses, and I am definitely not a very good manager. And
okay.
so, yeah, yeah, and I know that. I'm a leader, and I have the vision and I can create it, and then I just need others to go and implement it. I believe that, when you create a vision, you have to make sure it can be implemented. So those first couple years were critical and crucial for my involvement in the implementation and the can this work and what are the best practices and really molding the whole entire organization. And then after that, and after you kind of perfect it, and obviously nothing's perfect, but you tweak things and fix things and change with the times, right? Um, but you get those people in their place that can do the things that I cannot do, and can do the day to day that I will struggle with. So yeah, I mean, I have an amazing team, and I couldn't do it without them. Nothing could be done without them.
Well, I love the fact that you say you know your strengths. Are those innate strengths that you just naturally know, or do you know, like through Clifton Strengths or one of those other tools, what you have? Tell us what kind of helps you get yourself boosted with those and what they are, if
Yeah,
you
I
know
think
them.
I've taken every single one of those tests, right?
Yeah.
At some
Oh,
point,
right.
somewhere.
Sure.
Um, and,
Yeah.
they all
And
come.
what's the
You're,
thing that you keep hearing about yourself that you is the visionary? Is it the innovation? Is it, I'm picking that up, but I'm curious.
yeah, very driven, very determined to succeed. The disc profile and the D, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
um,
Absolutely.
but yeah, I'm not very good, and a nonprofit, interestingly enough, you have to be very good at telling a story and grabbing heartstrings, and because that's how you get the money, right? I'm
Absolutely.
very analytical. And so for me, it's here's our numbers, here's what we can do, here's the impact we can make. Just give us the money and look at the difference you're going to make in the world. But so I know I need to surround myself with a staff that can tug at the heartstrings, that does have that are really good with feelings, right? Those are just things that I know about myself.
Mm-hmm.
I've learned through the testings, but I also just know because I surround myself with other people that can do things that I can't, for sure.
And Jessica, there was something in your heartstrings that said, I want to make a difference. It just shows up differently. It's more because you're probably more driven and achiever and want to make a difference in the world. It doesn't mean you don't have the heartstrings. Like somebody with empathy,
Right.
you're going to be that person that's going to go make a significance in the world. You probably have some significance in your talents and some things at command and some self assurance. It's like, I can do this,
Hmm.
but just getting yourself surrounded by the people. So,
Yeah.
Jessica, we've talked about your organization, but we haven't really shared the name. Can you share the
Mm,
name and how you came up with that name, and then how people can find you if they want to volunteer, be a mentor, or be a
yes.
donor?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Foundation for Choice. And choice is an acronym for consider how one individual changes everything, because that is what we do. We have one mentor, one donor, one person, one student, right, who literally changes their entire world. And you find us www.foundationforchoice.org. .org. You can email us at info@foundationforchoice.org, and it's FOR is the four.
And if you're not in the Dallas area, but you want to help support or you want to help learn, I guess you can also come come to that same website to get information.
Yeah, come to that website. And then if you have an interest or if you see a need in your community, let us know, because we are expanding and we can definitely kind of vet those areas and say, okay, here's what we need, here's how we can impact, for sure.
And you said you mentioned South Texas. Is that your first place that you're looking at right now, or is it does it matter?
Well, that's the one that looks like it's going to launch quickly. So we have a lot of different areas that we're looking at. This one just looks like it might be the first one to kind of get everything together. Yeah,
Exciting.
yeah,
So exciting.
yeah.
Well, Jessica, thank you for making a difference and being here on Dominate Your Day and sharing your story and inspiring others to do something, either to go out and do something like you've done in their community that's different, but that supports their passion, or joining you in what you've done here in Dallas. So, congratulations and
Thank you.
thank you for being on the show today.
Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it. It's been an honor. Thank you.
Thank you. What an incredible conversation. Remember, everything you need to lead with greater impact is already within you. You don't need to be more productive, you just need to be more you. If today's episode resonated, please subscribe and share it with a fellow leader who's ready for their own internal revolution. And if you're ready to discover what's possible when you lead from the inside out, I'd love to create space for that conversation. Head to danawilliamsco.com for resources and to book your free discovery call, where we can explore what you want to achieve for yourself, your team, and your organization. Until next time, keep leading from within.